janefinch.com.
My name is Maria Augimeri, and I'm the NDP candidate for the great riding of Humber River Black Creek. I'm proud to be the NDP candidate in this riding. I've had a special place in my heart for this riding for a long, long time, decades in fact. I used to represent a good part of this riding as a trustee first in the 80s, and then as a city councillor. I went to school and taught at York University, which is also in this riding. I have an affinity with that university actually because my husband and I and my children attended it, and we're all graduates of York University. A big booster actually of this treasure in our community. As chair of the Toronto and Region Conservation Authority, I have to tell you that the living museum that's in this riding that I've supported through the ages, Black Creek Pioneer Village, is also as much of a jewel in this community as is its next door neighbor, York University. Black Creek Pioneer Village was under threat a few years ago of being shut down because of budget cuts, and I'm glad that I was one of the people to step up and save it. We have an urban farm, Black Creek Urban Farm, in Black Creek Humber River riding. And a few years ago, it too was under threat of closing down. And I championed its opening because it was so important to keep that feature there. It provided jobs for summer students, for Rexdale and Jane Finch youth. I have always been a promoter and a champion of youth in our communities. I never forgot my roots as a trustee, and I made sure to go to every parent school meeting I could, even while I was a councillor. As a city councillor, I reduced 2,500 property taxes for 2,500 homes in this community, and I'm very glad that I started that fairness for Downsview. And it was a program that was kicked off in the burbs in York, Scarborough, and North York because of what we were able to accomplish here in Humber River Black Creek. I'm very proud to have had a hand in bringing an ultra-modern hospital to the Downsview community. And the president of the hospital, who's a past president of the Tory party, has said this hospital would not have been built without the assistance of Maria Augimeri. And I thank him for giving credit where credit is due. And I'm just so proud of that hospital now. I'm trying to build a seniors campus at Shepherd and Keele, which will have amenity facilities for seniors, not only medical, but live-in residential facilities. That's my big project for the future. I was able to save the forest in William Baker Park. It's part of Downsview Park. And ecologically, that's important for the neighborhood too, and for the children in this community. There's a new school that's going to be built as a consequence of my work that I've done in the Shepherd and Keele area. It took me 10 years, but I built a beautiful award-winning library at Magellan and near Shepherd and Jane, and an amphitheater for the 5 schools surrounding the Jane Shepherd area to perform in. It's fully electrified with microphones, and it's a beautiful facility where our area's children and youth can show off their talent. Children and youth in this community need places to show off their talents because talent is rife in this community. We just don't have enough places to perform and to perfect that talent. We have increased programs for girls in our community centers because I set to work on implementing a model here that was very successful in avoiding unwanted teenage pregnancies in the United States. We've implemented that model here, and girls are growing to be leaders, to be more self-aware and assertive, and that's something important for the girls in this community. But equally important is that the boys in this community, the racialized communities, they need to have role models too. So it's important to work with Reverend Sky, who's a leader in this community, and help families that had to deal with devastating effects of gun violence I think that there is no reason not to tackle gun violence at its roots, and it comes from the root causes, which is basically inequality in the school system, in the institutions, and in the housing system. Housing first. We need housing first. Decent housing for these decent people. Thank you so much for contributing.